Hello.
What up?
Okay. So, today's class, we are wearing socks. Gavin requested a sock class. I don't know if he was actually serious. Hello, whoever's joining. We're gonna do a flow with socks. That doesn't mean, again, we've done sock classes in the past. You don't have to wear socks. You can totally just step through and not slide as much, but we're gonna use it to bring a little bit more resistance and strengthening. I also added a fundraiser onto our live video today. Hi guys who are joining. So you can totally donate, I believe, directly through that. I've never done this before that way, but the bail project is what I've added. So donate if you'd like to. Okay, so we're gonna get started just standing. If you've got your socks, great. If you don't and you wanna have socks, grab them. From here, nice and easy stance. You can do a little bit wider if it's more comfortable. We're just gonna soften the knees and get grounded first. So we're starting very mindfully in our practice. Hi, Willis. Let's close the eyes. So as always with this, you wanna start to tap into your breathing, right? And we don't necessarily have to demand anything from the breath at the beginning here. Just give yourself a little bit more of an intuitive gaze. The exhales are a beautiful way of navigating the space through the ground, right? So when you do fill up and you expand your spaces, try to drop those exhales a little lower. Climb up the body too. So once you do start to find where the feet are in your seeking and searching, go up to the knees, soften at that space. Go up a little higher into the hips, maybe fold and kind of shift the weight to the right and the left. Notice the movement of the spine for you. Like, how do you feel in the low back? Is it a little bit more archy, a little bit more neutral? Cage of the ribs, collarbone, shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers. And at the top of the head, right? How does your head land on the spine? You might even move around a little bit there, but we're just getting really mindful about where we are in space and the body that we're in. Let's take a breath. Exhale everything out. Take a full breath in. And a big exhale through the mouth. Good. So if you have closed your eyes, you can keep them closed and just listen to the cues from here or open them. We're going to do some movement from the feet. So from here, you're just going to lift one heel up and put it down, and then the other one. So we're trying to move through the ball of the foot, the arch of the foot, leaning into the toes a bit, shifting the weight. If it feels more comfortable for balance for you to have something to hold on to, you can use a wall, you can use a chair. I'm just gonna keep moving. You can go super slow or quicker, just depends on how you're feeling. I would say try not to jam the knee back. Puppies are playing right now, so they're really into it. There's like a basket full of toys you guys can't see that they are just going to town. Okay, so the next move you're gonna do is you're gonna point through the foot. And kind of work from that ball of foot. And you can do like Gavin as he's straightening the leg out, or just keep it lifted from the floor. Just keep moving. You can go a little faster. Meanwhile, still breathing, right? It doesn't have a cue. Like, it's not like a right or wrong thing. There's Aina. Hi, Aina. Okay, so now we're gonna add in another layer. Without lifting the feet, you're gonna bend into the standing knee and lift the ball to the ball of the foot of the other leg, and you're gonna put it back down. And you're gonna go to the other side. So now we're getting a little bit of a stretch to the back of the standing leg. Try to keep your knees and your toes in line. Higby, lay down. Good boy. And then if you feel pretty good with this, if you want to add the next layer, it would just be to lift the foot through the whole foot and point as you go down. Now I would definitely say, like, if you like to practice with music, we are not playing music because it's just too much with the recording and the cueing, and then on your side it just doesn't land. But definitely listen to music for this practice. It's going to be a little bit more fluid in that way, and it can feel really helpful. Last round. Boop. Okay, so from there, if you have anything you need to shake out, move it around. We're gonna do some of our modified sun salutes with the socks. Remember, you don't need to have socks. You can always just walk and step like we normally do. Let's take a breath in with the inhale, arms go up. On your exhale, go ahead and fold down. Take a moment. First round of this will be nice and slow. Give us some time to adjust to different movements in the body. I would definitely say if you like to practice with that whispering style of breathing, ujjayi breathing, definitely bring it in. It's like fogging a mirror through the inhale and exhale out of the nose. Let the head hang. Let's take our first half lift. Inhale, extend out from the spine or from the hips. And then exhale, draw it down. Let's do it again. Halfway lift. And exhale, hang. One more. Inhale. Exhale, hang the head heavy. Bend the knees enough to where your hands can be flat and your arms might be a little bit in front of the shoulders. You're gonna lean forward and we're gonna try to slide the feet back to plank. Round through the low belly. I'm gonna back up a little bit. Okay, we're gonna come back to the forward fold with this. You're gonna pull the feet towards the hands, bending the knees. They don't have to make it all the way to the hands. Lean forward, push through the balls of the feet back, look forward. Go again. Slide forward and then slide back, and just keep going on your own pace. Those of you that do not have socks, you would just walk forward, walk back. Every time, try to keep your hips a little higher, or keep lifting up from the hips higher. Ugh. Okay, pause in this plank. Let's from here push the ground away. Remember, you can always go to the knees if this is a little bit too much today, or just sustain this, or you can lower early. We're gonna do something with our feet. So we're gonna move the feet out, and we're gonna move them in. Out, in, soft. So thinking from low belly lifting, inner thighs squeezing. Chin forward. We're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's lower all the way down on 1. Okay, so from there, just keeping the legs long, let's take the hands behind the back, all 10 fingers. Lift the chest up. And for a moment, give yourself time to just assess the situation. Like, can you relax the shoulders? Can you squeeze the shoulders? Can you lift the arms? How does it feel? What is taking a full breath like? Lower all the way down. Push your hands underneath you. You can go to plank or tabletop, and then back to down dog. And just give yourself some time. Anchor to your base. Socks can make these poses a little bit more challenging. So I will sometimes shorten the stance more if I'm slipping a lot. Okay, let's move and groove with this. You're gonna inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk, stump, or slide to your forward fold. Hang the head. Halfway lift. Exhale, hang heavy. Inhale, stand up. And then exhale, fold down. Halfway lift. Exhale, lean into the hands, slide the feet back. We'll take an extra breath in to pull forward, chaturanga this time, halfway or all the way. Back bend with your breath in. Full up dog, take a moment. Exhale, back to down dog. Inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, look forward, slide. Halfway lift. Exhale, hang. Inhale, stand up, full fluid breathing. Exhale, find your feet, ground down. Halfway lift. Exhale, hang, lean into the hands, push the V back. Halfway or all the way. Back bend with the breath in. Back to down dog, exhale. Inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, slide or jump or step. Halfway lift. Hang heavy. Stand it up. And fold it down. Halfway lift. Exhale, plant. Lean into the palms, bend the knees, push the legs back. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Okay, pausing there. Okay, from here, you can always lift the leg if you want, if you don't have socks, especially those of you that have socks, if you're using this. Slide the right leg back with a bend in your standing leg. Try not to let that right hip drop. So you're gonna lift from the low belly. On your exhale, bring your knee to your nose, keep the foot on the floor, round. Do it again. Inhale, slide it back. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, slide it back. Exhale, pull it in. Step the foot through. Very gently bring your back knee down. Take your arms up. So as long as your back knee feels okay, I know we're not using a mat, so we don't have cushion. If you do want something there, go grab it. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring the hands down. You're gonna simply lift the back knee, slide it back. Okay, push the same foot back, bring it on the outside of your right hand. And the heel doesn't have to go down for those of you without socks, or with socks. Go back, bring it on the outside of the right hand, knee to shoulder as much as you can. Do it again. On the outside, let it land, get the heel down, so you have to wiggle the foot forward, let your back knee come down, and then just hold the position looking up. Now you might not be able to hold this down, so if you need to lift up higher to blocks, you may have to lift the knee up higher. Take those modifications as necessary. Think about the weight of the hips dropping. Last breath in. Exhale, bring the hands down, slide the foot back to down dog. So now we're just gonna take a few movements, same leg forward and then outside. So you're gonna take right leg back, slide it through. Look up, you can soften the back knee, don't put it down. Right leg back, on the outside of your right hand, look up. Soften, don't put it down. Right leg back, right leg forward. Right leg back, right leg outside. 2 more times. Right leg back, right leg forward, right leg back, right leg outside. Last time. Right leg back, right leg forward, right leg back, right leg outside, and then down dog. I have one sock that is super slippery and one sock that's not. So this is going to be interesting. Mismatched socks. Okay, other side. So left leg, you can lift it up if you don't have socks, or with socks, I would suggest keeping it down, bending the standing knee to the chest, and using that to leverage the length of the spine. Take a breath. Exhale, knee to nose, slide forward. Go again, lengthen it back, keep it connected. Exhale, knee to nose. Keep it on the ground, but lengthen. And bring it in, step the foot. Draw the back knee down if it's comfortable, and then arms up. Yeah, and you don't have to completely drop down either. If you already know that you have the range of motion to go farther down, but you tend to do it by opening up the hips and losing the structure, stay higher. Those of you that are like, I can't, it's just too much, just try to soften that space. Think about allowing the weight to go down. Without resistance. You can always look up, you can change up the arms. I always invite you guys to just kind of play with things that resonate with you. Take another inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down. Slide it back to down dog. I'm gonna slide it back and then go on the outside of your left hand. Bring it through. We're gonna do that again. Outside, just as much as you can. So think knee to shoulder as you do this. Go again, one more time. Put it all the way down, slide that back leg a little farther so you can get the heel down. We're gonna try to keep the knee and the shoulder closer, looking up. So we're sustaining this by using the ground. The palms are really nice and anchored. Wrap from the arms, lift from the chest. And still maintaining fullness of breath. When we start to move this in a moment, just remember, we're moving at a pace that doesn't mean you have to move at the same pace, right? So you might also not get all the way through with your leg, especially if you're using socks and you're feeling a little tighter. So just go at the speed and the distance that resonates, that's manageable to breathe through. Okay, take a breath. Exhale, lift the back leg, push it back to down dog. Okay, let's move it. Left leg back. Pull it through, keep the knees soft, look up, swing it back on the outside. So the ground, you're trying to stay connected the entire time. Use your low belly. And use the buoyancy of your hips and your knee bending from behind you. Try to keep the knees in line with your toes. Last two, or 2 sets. Okay, let's go ahead and work it back to down dog. Take again, movement that feels good. Take a big exhale. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, empty. Okay, inhale, right leg goes back. Exhale through between the hands, think thumb side. Go ahead and drop the back knee down. Take an inhale, lift your arms up. Good, on your exhale, you're gonna bring the hands down. Lift the back knee, take your high lunge. So you could always do a little bit of a back bend here. Arms, arms, arms. There's tons of variations. Play with it. Put a little bit more power to the back leg's kick. Try to keep this front leg as it is. You're gonna slide your back leg through chair pose. Pause. Okay, so shifting the weight from the front leg to now 2 legs, hopefully feels somewhat satisfying. Try to lean into the heels. Shifting the weight forward also is good to play with too. Now we're gonna keep the weight on the right leg. You're gonna slide your left leg out in front of you, flexing the toes. Take the 10 fingers, interweave them, put them on top of your right leg. Now this may be where you stay. You can also climb down and take that same 10-finger grip around the ball of your left foot. Try to keep the hips level. Take a breath in. On your exhale, put the hands down on the ground and lift your left leg to the ceiling, standing split. So always with standing split, you can play with the bend in the standing knee so that you can articulate where your weight is, the hands on the ground, and that standing hip a little bit more. If you really want a straight leg but you can't touch the ground, grab a block and lift yourself up higher. Try to lift the 5 toes on the ground. and then spread the toes above you. Take a little half lift in your chest if you can. Soften the standing knee. You're gonna slide it back, high lunge. Nice. From here, we're gonna lean forward into more of a power lunge variation. So you're gonna hinge the torso down without landing on your leg. So you're a little bit more elevated and we're putting more impact into that front leg. Reach your arms back. Also option, hands behind the back, 10 fingers like we did on the belly. Take another breath. Exhale, hands down, put them down with weight in them. Slide your right leg back to plank. Optional, chaturanga. Take that up dog. And then go back to down dog. Left leg back. Slide it through. Draw the knee down, keep the back ball of your foot down, arms up. Take a back bend, let it lift. When you're feeling good, lift to your high lunge. Try to find that pull up from the low belly. Don't grip your toes. Soften around the facial features. Keep this front leg as is. Slide it to chair. And I'm looking down, but I would suggest actually not doing that, trying to keep the head up because it does drag you down. And keeping the chin lifted will keep your chest open. Shift the weight to the left foot. Slide your right leg long. Take the hands to the top of your left knee thigh. You can also take the same grip, just flipped and pull the toes up to you. Take another inhale. Exhale, lift your right leg up in the air, standing split. Standing knee can bend, shifting your weight back, a little forward. Try to work from that outer hip. Is it falling in? Is it rolling out? Try to work a little bit more like a half lift in your chest today if you can. Take a big breath. Exhale, soften your standing knee into that high lunge. And we're not done yet. We have to still work our power lunge. So we're going to take a big breath. And then we're going to exhale, lean over that front leg. Hands behind the back, if you can get that grip, will help you. For those of you that do feel like in the strength, you just start to grip your chest instead of use your legs, or that it starts to take over, get your chest to open. Use the ground. Remember your breathing. Every exhale is to the floor. Take another big breath. Exhale, hands down. Should feel good. Slide your left leg back. Chaturanga Vinyasa. Okay. So we're going to layer onto this a little bit. Let's first just take a breath. Exhale everything out. Full breath in. And then a full exhale out. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, bring the foot through. Keep the back knee soft. Inhale, look up. Exhale, push up to your high lunge. Take a big breath just to land there. Exhale, slide the foot forward and then get it all the way to that straight position we did earlier. Take an inhale, go ahead and grab the foot or the knee, lean down. On an exhale, we'll take a standing split. Take an inhale, look forward. On your exhale, take the hands back for balance. Now, if this is too much, go back to standing split. But if you can maintain this chest open without excessively lifting the chest, I just knocked Gavin over. Oh gosh, that's funny. You can also help your partner by holding hands. Okay, soften the standing knee, look forward. Go all the way back to your power lunge. Stay with it, stay over the leg. Okay, from here, we're gonna inhale up to the high lunge. Exhale, bring your hands down. Drop your back knee, keep the ball of your foot down, lean back, stretch the front leg out. If your knee's not feeling good, stay higher on it or put something underneath. You can stay here. If you want a little bit more, shift forward, slide it to split. Blocks are great for this one to lift you up and support you. Back knee can stay down or up. Okay, if the back knee is lifted, start to bring it down. We're gonna slide back onto the ball of your back foot again. Use your hands, come up to toe stand on the one leg. So this bottom leg, you're trying to be on the ball of your foot. You can bend the top knee so the foot's down. That would be another level of support, or keeping it straight. If you are good to go, arms up. Lift off your heel a little bit and then try to keep your knees together and lift the right leg up. Balance challenge. Toe tapping is an option. Now let the foot land if it's not. I'm going to bring it back to toe stand with two legs. If you can do it without arms, great, and you might need the floor. Keep the heels lifted. Arms in front of you, palms pressed or reaching. Squeeze at the knees, squeeze at the ankles. Stand all the way up. Keep the heels up. Bring it down. Shake it out for a second. That was hard. Okay, we're gonna do a little balancing from here. Let's give ourselves a good back bend to stretch out some of this hip flexion. So let's do our right leg. We're gonna take the right elbow out. Dancer's pose. We're gonna grab the foot. And then take your left arm up. And as you get there, just kick. I would say the biggest alignment feedback I usually give, like the most broad stroke, is everybody loses this standing leg. It's like, just because it's straight doesn't mean it's just not active enough, or people are rolling in and out of the hip line a lot. So if you soften the standing knee, not to bend, but to reignite the engagement of it, you want to try to roll this hip back and pull up in the front of the hip. And then kick without losing that. And when you start to get to the point of tension where you feel it coming forward again, stop at that point of kick. This arm in front of you also has to move from the back, right? The shoulder has to pull forward, not just dropping it into the back. Let it move. Good. Release it. Shake it out. Nice, Gavin. Take an inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold it down. Let the head go, soften the knees. Take a half lift. On your exhale, keep looking forward. Walk it all the way out to plank. Haha, you can stay with this or play with the movement again of legs opening. Out, in. Out, in, out, in. If you want to do this but don't want to do the sliding, you just step, step, and just switch which side goes out first. 5, 4, 3, 2, lower 1. Take a back bend in your chest, up dog or cobra, and then swing it back to down dog. Let the head go. Exhale everything out. Take a breath in. And then exhale again. Let's try this all on the other side. Left leg back. Exhale, bring it through. Keep the knees soft behind you. Inhale, look up. Exhale, push up. Try to find that high lunge. Take an inhale to stretch through the arms. Take an exhale, slide through. Grab your foot, grab your knee. Take an inhale to stretch. Exhale, standing split, lift the leg up. Now again, this time you can stay with standing split or start to work that variation on toppling tree. Arms back. And show it from the side on this side. So the standing knee, I'm keeping it a bit bent. And then you're gonna try to keep scooping the belly, leveling the hips, but keeping an upper back bend as the leg goes up. And eventually, you'll get more of a standing split in this. Chin forward is a very helpful tool. Lift the toes underneath you. Keep the chest, keep the standing leg nice and strong. Step back into your power lunge movement. So we're still leaning over that front leg. Almost there. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, you're going to bring the hands down, drop the back knee, lean into that back leg. So initially just letting yourself land on the ball of this foot. Make sure your knee feels safe, stretching out this front leg. Getting a bearing on that. When you're feeling good, if you want to slide to your split, start to work it. Try to keep that feeling of support from the legs, right? So don't just splay open, right? Don't turn the back leg out. Try to keep the front of that right leg nice and strong. If you need something to pad the knee, pad the knee. I like flexion in the standing foot. It gives me the stretch from the base really nicely. It also helps me see what my ankle is doing in relationship to my hip and my knee. Okay, so if you've slid out, start to slide back. You're going to start to lean again on the back foot. And you can stay with this. It doesn't have to go much farther. You're doing toe stand. You're going to lean into the ball of the back foot. The knee lifts off the ground. You can bend the knee and put the foot down. You can keep holding the ground or start to come upright. You can bring the arms out in front of you. That's the balance challenge. Lift off of the heel a little bit. Or maybe the whole leg lifts. Toe tapping the floor is fine. Arms can go up. Slowly slide the foot in. Use the hands if you need to. Try to keep the ankle bones together. Before we work into standing up, we're gonna do a variation on Malasana. So you're gonna bring your hands in front of you. Open the knees, not like a crazy amount, just enough to go on the outsides of your arms, keeping your heels and your toes together. Start to lower your torso. This might be where you land. If you feel like you can go a little farther, flipping your palms. Take one arm at a time behind the ankles. Hips lift a little bit. So it's really inner knee on the outside of the armpit crease as much as you can. And I'm squeezing my knees into me and scooping the low belly and rounding through the spine. Hands can clasp eventually. And then you can also think about pushing into your shoulders down as you lift your belly up. Looking forward. So if you have a crow practice, we're gonna move into that now. If you don't and you just wanna hang out here, you can sit with this or start to put your butt down and sit in butterfly position with the feet together, knees open. Hands coming forward for crow. You lift up your knee so it's more on the back of your arms, scoop the belly, chest open, and start to use your knees to shift your weight forward. Eventually toes up, eventually straightening the arms all the way. Now if you're not taking crow, this is a great place to move. And you can just lean over that stretch. You can also play with similar crow feeling by sitting down and pushing into the knees, palms in front of you, climbing up. Wherever you are, test it one more time. Eventually imagine getting crow to go all the way to handstand. So the butt will lift, 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 lift. If you've sat on your butt or have taken crow, bring your feet down, bring your knees together, or lift your butt up and start to work into the squat position. Arms in front of you. Point the knees more down, lean the chest more back. We're gonna go up to the top. Lift 5, 4, heels up, 3, 2, 1. Release. Shake it out. Are you sweating?
Glazed.
Yesterday we put the heat on in the house and I was sweating, and today we didn't and I'm still sweating, so yeah. It's good stuff. We both miss hot yoga a little bit, I think. Left hand out for our dancer pose. Grab the foot, big toe side. Take this right hand, if that's helpful to you, from the other side to swivel that standing hip up and back. Take it to the front of the other hip and pull up a little bit. Right arm up. And again, once the right arm up goes up, don't lose it. Lift, and then start to kick. And you might be able to get all the way to where the leg goes to the ceiling. But it just doesn't matter if the leg is over your head if you have compromised your low back and the base, right? So really try to work diligently. I often think it's fun, especially for those of you that do have more mobility, to kick and use the leverage, but then at a certain point, relax your arm and stop holding the foot as much, and see when you do that, like how much of the shape actually stays. Like how much strength are you actually utilizing on your back line to stretch out this front line. Let's let it go. Shake it out. Okay, standing up. Just take a moment to close the eyes. If you're comfortable bringing the feet together, do that. If you still want that hip width, do that. Follow your breath. See if you can start to find a little bit more control in it, like a slower pace, a more grounded exhale. Think exhale down to the floor. Exhale everything out. Take a big breath in. And empty. Inhale, arms out and up or forward and up. And exhale, fold it down. Let the head go. Bend into the knees a little bit. Bend the knees enough to walk your hands all the way out to plank. No extra this time, just lower to your position that you can back bend from. Let the knees come down. If you're comfortable on the knees, take a child's pose. Fill up the entire backside space. Completely empty on your exhale. Come all the way up to the knees. From here, we're going to do our pigeons. Let's take the right knee, bring it forward, put the foot more in front of the hip space. And again, we aren't using mats today, so if you do start to feel heaviness of your bones into the ground, if you are doing the same thing, just grab what you need. You can also do the variation against a wall with the legs up and doing figure 4 on one side. If you'd like to take on variations of pigeon, like the back bend, you can start to lift into those now. Maybe bending the back knee, reaching back for the foot. Try not to let the knee roll. Right, like you don't want the shin to go right or left behind you. And you might have to lift higher off the hip. When you're feeling good, you're just going to simply lift and slide out and then switch it, other side. If you did on the other side and you want to do again some kind of variations, mermaid, full king, go ahead and start to push up, play with those variations. Nice, guys. Very gently, slowly come around with your back leg. Let's take a forward fold. So you can do this, I'll give you some options. You can do like a normal forward fold with the legs forward, or if you want to do a little bit more of a straddle variation, just open up the legs. And you can play with getting a nice stretch this way. Gavin will show that way, I'll show this way. And then just fold it. Bending the knees with the fold can be great to get the feet and then leverage it from there. You can also lift your hips higher up. Can make it a more accessible angle to fold from. Take another big breath. And slowly come all the way up. If you've gotten to the straddle like I have, bring your legs in front of you. Let's do our butterfly position. This might be round 2 for those of you that may have not done crow. And you're just gonna fold. You can push the knees down, kind of mirroring. I would be gentle. We don't have, again, mats, so my ankle bones get a little not happy against the floor. So I'm gonna lift my hands underneath them just for now. Come all the way up. Bring your knees in. We're gonna play with inverting plank bridge. So this can be really slippery, so be very careful with your socks if you're using socks. Hips width distance. Squeezing a block between your knees is always a good option for this too. You're gonna place the hands behind you. And then you're gonna lift the hips up. Try not to let your knees go wide. Think heels and toes in line. And when you feel comfortable, head back. Full breathing. Release, butt down first, head lifts when the butt lands. Nice. Take the legs long, take your right leg up and in. Cross the knee, hug the leg, twist. Other side. Leg long. Bring it in. Cross it over. Hug it. You can also push it. Release. And then from here, if you have anything else you would like to find, just to start to seal off your practice, you could do legs up against a wall, you could do another hip stretch, you could do another back bend. If you have an inversion practice, headstands, forearm stands, all that stuff, maybe put that here. Twist, passive movements. But start to find a place of rest that you can begin to process some of your meditation without movement action in your body on top of it. I'm going to end in a seat. I don't know if Gavin's going to, I guess he's going to end in a seat too. You can also take Shavasana. We chose a fundraiser today, which I didn't even know you could do on live for Instagram. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if any of you donated. I didn't really like even know, so I didn't even announce it. But if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to donate to one of the many causes that are out there right now, definitely do it. Today we did the Bail Project, so if you check them out, I'll link them in the video. If you haven't already started to drop in, come back to your breathing. And it's often when the movement stops that the mind starts to click in again, because it doesn't have something to anchor itself to. So give yourself that anchor, give yourself the breath. Follow along the thought process and keep trying to find your way back if it starts to become monkey brain. If you're sitting with a lot of emotions, like things that are just churning up that can be really overwhelming, every exhale, drop it down. But those emotions are a part of you too, right? So try not to just swat them away. They exist for a reason. We are not going to take you out of your meditation as usual. So if you do want to set a timer, set that for yourself. Or just lean into as much time as you can here. Let's exhale everything out. Take in a big full breath. And exhale. As always, thank you for practicing with us or checking in. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.